Hi folks, this is Donald. Today you find me sketching my wobbly interpretation of this street scene in Edinburgh, Scotland, featuring a well-known high street bank. I symbolically chose to sketch a bank because I wanted to have a wee chat about the cost of living crisis that most of us are facing right now, how it might affect our ability to make art, and 5 simple ideas for what we might do to keep sketching and being artistic if or when we find ourselves unable to afford to buy art materials. Prices of food and fuel and just about everything else at the moment are all going through the roof, and to top it all off, in the UK they have just announced an 80% increase in energy bill prices. By April next year there are predictions of energy bills going up to about £6,500 a year, which is just insane and for most of us completely unmanageable. I know this is maybe a more serious topic than I would usually cover, but personally I am getting very concerned about all of this. The idea of buying art supplies is going to seem fanciful if I can't even afford to put the lights or heating on in the middle of winter. And given that I'm actually losing money by making these videos, I do have genuine concerns about my ability to even keep this channel going. With this in mind, I do have an idea I wanted to read with you about supporting the channel to help me keep it going. So if you have found any value in my videos, please do stick around to the end of this video for more on that. It would be very much appreciated. I should also say a big thank you to everyone who has watched and subscribed to the channel so far. We're past 1,000 subscribers now, which is amazing, and you have left some incredibly humbling feedback over the last few months. I'm hugely grateful and it really does help to keep the video making motivation going, so thank you very, very much. Anyway, back to impending financial misery. Yay! The reality is that art materials are expensive. We all use specific pens or paper or paints that often run out and need replaced. I know not everyone that's into art will be facing financial hardship in the coming months, but many will, and I would argue that in the same way that so many people, including myself, found the mental health benefits of doing art during lockdown, it might become just as important to be able to continue to draw and paint as a release from the difficulties people are facing financially. But if in these circumstances, if you did want to keep up with your art, the dilemma is what you do if you can't afford to buy new materials or replace things when they run out. So I thought I would help myself and hopefully you as well by coming up with some ideas. My first idea is simply don't replace your emptied materials at all. Instead, use up every last shred of what you already have. I have piles of unfinished sketchbooks, paints, pencils and pens that I could easily switch to without having to spend another penny for quite some time. I have a grey-toned sketchbook, for example, that I enjoyed trying out, yet I've still only used it once. When needs must, I could try using that for a while, or fill up the remaining pages of my unfinished watercolour sketchbooks. It might mean adjusting the type of sketching I do, but at least I'll still be doing something, and it might force you to be creative or try something new that ends up becoming your new favourite way of doing things. You never know. If you do need to buy new materials, why not see if you can find a cheaper alternative product, whether it's a more basic sketchbook or cheaper paints. Put up with the fact that it is most likely inferior to what you'd use in normal circumstances, and just try and enjoy still being able to be creative. Even supplies from the pound shop or dollar store are better than nothing. My third suggestion, and you might already be doing this, is to switch to refillable products. Refills tend to be cheaper and last longer, and in terms of drawing I highly recommend switching from disposable fine liners to fountain pens. I did this a few months ago and I've only rarely had to refill them. Bottled ink is fairly inexpensive, and at this rate the same bottle is probably going to last me months if not years. You can also get some really cheap fountain pens that do a far better job than you'd expect. My fourth idea, and this might sound a little silly, is to sketch smaller. Instead of filling a whole page with a single sketch, why not try splitting a sketchbook page into 2 and do 2 smaller sketches per page instead of 1, making the sketchbook last twice as long. And this brings me to my fifth idea: simplify your sketches. If it comes to it, could you sketch with just a pen and paper, adding no paint or colouring of any kind, and just leave it as an ink drawing? Even simpler, how about just using a pencil? There couldn't be a cheaper way to sketch, but you'd still get the satisfaction of doing the thing you love. I'm sure there's loads more ideas to save the pennies. These were just the 5 that came to me, so if you have any art-related money-saving ideas of your own, please do share them with us all in the comments. Now, to come back to what I was saying at the beginning, although these videos are free to watch, they are very far from free to make. Unfortunately, the channel is still a long way from being eligible for YouTube monetization, so I'm not getting anything from the advertising you're probably seeing on all of these videos. On top of this, the costs of licensing the music, hosting the Urban Sketchy website, and more significantly, using so much electricity over all the hours it takes to film and edit these videos, all means that I'm losing money in a way that's no longer sustainable. So this is where I reluctantly need to ask for your help. I've seen other artists and sketchers getting direct support from fans, and needing to try something, I have now set up a page at buymeacoffee.com. As the name suggests, the idea is that fans can directly support an artist they have a connection with by buying them a coffee, either as a one-off coffee whenever they like, or as a recurring monthly cup of coffee at whatever amount you can afford. Think of it like a tip for good service. I know not everyone will be able to contribute, and believe me, I totally understand, but if you enjoy my sketches and videos and are able to contribute, it really would mean the world and will help me to keep this show on the road. To find out more, head over to buymeacoffee.com/urbansketchy or click the link in the description. I am also now offering sketching commissions, and the idea is that rather than pay a fixed price, you pay whatever you can. So if you would like me to do a fun, wobbly sketch of your house, business or favourite place and pay whatever price you like, then check out my website urbansketchy.com for more information. Thanks so much. Hope you enjoyed the sketch, and don't forget to share any art-related money-saving tips that you have. The way things are going, I think we're going to need all the help we can get. See you next time.